Cool. Okay, so the assignment I gave you guys last class, or today is the 6th Python class actually. Yeah, if you guys missed anything, you can check out our YouTube channel at Quarantine Learning. Okay, let me share my screen. Can I see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, 1 second. 2 more people joined. Okay, anyway, so this is the assignment I gave you guys last class. I'll just show you how it works really quickly.
I don't know. No, I'll just look. That's all.
Okay, anyway, so can everyone mute their mic if they're not talking? Cool. Okay, so this program, what it was meant to do is it was meant to input different ages, 5 different ages to be exact, and it's meant to tell the user whether they're allowed to drink or not, depending on whether they're older than 18.
Oh,
So let me just show you how it works. Let's make this a little nicer. Okay, yeah, so it's meant to take ages, say like 10, you're not allowed to drink, 19, you're allowed to drink, 22. So the main purpose of this was to put it in a while loop and take in 5 different values. Right, so does everyone understand how this works? Or do you guys want me to explain it?
I understood.
Cool, because I went over while loops last class. I'll just run through a quick refresher of while loops and then we can get started with their next assignment. Okay, yeah, so for those of you guys who missed last class or didn't check out our YouTube channel or anything, while loops are basically, it can keep on looping a certain couple of lines of code depending on a condition, right? So usually you put a variable and this variable keeps on incrementing until this while loop condition is not satisfied, right? Just for anyone who's new. Okay, so today what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over the break and continue statement. Okay, so does anyone have any idea what these are?
I think I might know. Like, can I guess?
Yeah, take a guess. Anything.
So, like a break statement is like you pause at the command, and a continue statement says the command just keeps on going on.
Okay, that's close. That's close. So you actually got the break statement close. Well, a break statement will actually end the line of the loop. It'll basically break out of the loop. Okay, does that make sense? It'll break out of the loop. So, and a continue statement will actually skip the current iteration. So if you look over here, here's an example. I gave you the while loop, right? And I put if I is equal to 3, break. Break will basically leave the while loop. It'll ignore everything else. Okay, I'll give you a practical example of it. And continue will basically skip the current iteration. Okay, I'll give you a better example for you guys to understand. Okay, so if you remember, 1 second. Okay, so if you remember last class, we did the grocery list, right? And we kept on adding values to the grocery list. So we can do that same concept over here. So we have grocery list, I is equal to 0. Okay, now we'll make a while loop. And we'll say while I is less than 5. So the while loop will only be executed as long as I is less than 5, right? So first we want to create a new variable and input something from the user. Do you guys remember the grocery list program we made last class? basically we kept on, we basically kept on inputting values from the user and then adding it to a grocery list and then outputted the grocery.
And then, yeah, it prints the whole grocery
The
list.
whole grocery list, exactly. Very good. So again, if you don't remember, I'll just write down the whole code again. Input, enter an item. Okay. And then you can do grocery list, append item, which will basically add the item to the list. And then we want to I is equal to I plus 1. Okay, and then after the whole while loop, we do print. Okay, looks good. Enter an item, say like apples, banana, oranges, ice cream, milk. Okay, so if you remember this code that we wrote last class, it's basically I initialized I is equal to 0, and then I put it in a loop. So this loop will keep on being executed as long as I is less than 5. So while I is less than 5, it runs these two lines. These two lines basically input the value and add it to the list. And then it will increment I. Increment I meaning it adds 1 to I. So while the I is equal to 1, it's still less than 5, continues going, right? This is what we did last class. Now I'm going to introduce you to the break and continue statement. Here, so instead of appending already, just okay, you can do if item is equal to done, then break. Okay, so what this is gonna do is if I put done, if I input done, it'll break. Break meaning everything under this while loop, this entire line of code will all be ignored. It'll just jump out of the loop and come to over here. This print grocery list. Okay, making sense? So if we run this, enter an item, say like, and then done. Okay? Does that make sense? Anyone have any questions?
I didn't really understand it.
Okay, yeah, sure, I'll re-explain it. So if you remember in this code, we're inputting an item, right? We do item is equal to input, enter an item, right? And then the user enters a random item. So now if the user enters done, meaning they don't want to enter any more items. If they enter done, then it breaks. Break, it'll leave the loop. It'll ignore all of this. Does that make a little more sense?
Yeah.
Right? So break will basically break out of the while statement. So all of this is under the while statement. All of this will be ignored and it'll come to this print grocery list. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Great, okay. Now I'll show you what the continue statement does. So if item is equal to alcohol, then you want it to print you are too young for alcohol, and then continue. Okay, so anyone have any idea on what continue is going to do over here?
I guess it's gonna print the statement else you can drink or something.
Okay, that's not a bad idea, but that's actually not what it does. So the same way a break statement breaks out of the loop, a continue statement will break out of the current loop. right? So that sounds a little confusing. So over here, the while statement, this is the first line of the while statement, the second line, the third line, the fourth line, right? Once it comes to the continue statement, it'll ignore all the lines after it and go back to the beginning of the while statement. Okay, so what's gonna happen is it'll ignore both of these, right? If I type in alcohol as my item, it'll ignore grocery list.append, meaning it won't add it to the list and it will not increment I. So it's going to ignore these two lines and meaning it'll come back here with the same I value. So it's basically acting like you never enter that. All right, let me show you a more practical example. Okay, so enter an item, say like Yankter milk and then ice cream. Okay, now if we type in alcohol, what's gonna happen is it's gonna print this, you are too young for alcohol, and then continue. So it'll ignore both of these. So that means it'll go back to over here and do item is equal to input item. Okay, did everyone get that or a little bit confusing?
Got it.
You got it?
Yeah.
Everyone else?
I did not really understand the use of the continue statement.
Continue
Like-
statement. Okay. So, like a practical use of it?
Yeah, like why do you need it?
Okay, so this is actually not a bad example that I just gave you. So continue over here, if you want to ignore everything after, right? So in this case, alcohol, we don't want to add it to the list, even though the user entered it. So we want to continue, meaning ignore these two lines. So we don't want to add it to the list and we don't want to increment. So then it'll come back to the while statement. Yeah, so over the course of this session, I'll give you some more better examples of continue statement. I'll give you like better use cases of it. But for now, just understand what it does. Okay? Does that make sense? Everybody clear?
Yeah.
Cool, great. Okay, so now we'll move on to our next part. Unless, do you guys want to write down this code, see how it works? I'll give you like 5 minutes. You guys can test out the break and continue statement.
Okay, that's okay. I can.
You guys are good with that? Okay, fine. So maybe write a code where you enter school supplies, right? Something like grocery list, something how I did here. You input school supplies, and if they enter phone, you have to tell them you cannot bring a phone. You cannot buy a phone.
Okay.
Okay?
Can you keep your screen shared?
Yeah, sure. And then if they type in done, that means you're done adding items to the list. Okay?
Done.
Yeah, so kind of like a break. Okay, so test it out. I'll give you guys like a few minutes. All right, just tell me if you have any questions, something's not working, any other doubts.
No.
Okay, anyone make any progress? Want to share their screen or something?
I'm still doing it.
Okay, sure, go ahead.
Sir, something's been drawn on the screen.
Yeah, I don't know who's doing that. Can everyone stop drawing on the screen? Very cool. Is anyone almost done? Because we don't have too much time.
I had a question.
Mhm.
When I run this module, I just get entered a grocery list.
Okay, can you share your screen?
I just told you the last class. I'm not
Oh,
able
it's
to.
not working. Okay, what's your question?
So whenever I run this, it just comes like enter a grocery list.
Okay, enter an item.
If I enter an item,
Did you write this line of code right here? The input, enter an item.
yeah,
Okay, so did you enter an item? What happened?
yeah. Now it's coming like invalid. It's not defined.
Okay, did you do item is equal to input?
No.
Okay, so do that because it has to be stored in a variable. The input
Okay.
value. Okay, how about I'll give you guys a little bit of time at the end of the class to finish this assignment. Just make a new file and save it over there. Okay, I'll give you time at the end of the class to do it. For now, I'm gonna go over my next topic because we have to get some more done today.
Okay, I'm done.
You done?
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Fine. Show me at the end of the class, or can you like copy paste it into the chat box or something?
Let me try.
Good. Okay, I'll look at it at the end of the class. Okay, fine. So next, we're going to go over a different type of loop. Okay, so if you remember, there are two types of loops, important ones. There's while and for. So we went over the while loop, which basically tests with a condition. A for loop can go through a sequence. A sequence as in a list. It can go through a list one item at a time. So this one is a little bit more confusing than the while loop, so stick with me. Okay, so the first thing, an example, a list. You do for, this is the syntax over here, for item in list, right? For item in list. What's gonna happen is this item is gonna be initialized to apple, right? Okay, so this is the list over here. List is apple, banana, strawberry, right? If you do for I in list, I is basically first going to be apple, and then it's gonna run the code. Then it'll come back to this for loop, and it will become banana, and then it will run this command, and then it'll become strawberry, and then run this command. Okay. So it's a little bit confusing. I'll show you an example of how it could work. Okay, so yeah, fine. Let's make a list for grocery items. Say we want to print out our grocery items one by one. Let me give you an example. Grocery items, apple. Okay, so now we can try and put it in a for loop. Okay, so how the for loop works is you do for, and then you put item, any variable name. You put any variable name over here for item in grocery items. Okay, so for item, any variable name, and you want to put any sequence, a list, anything, right? Any list or anything. So then you put a colon and you do print item. Okay, so let me show you how this would work. Is first it would assign item to the first value of grocery items, which is apple. And then because it's in a for loop, it'll print this and it'll come back to the for loop and print the second item. The item will be the second value in grocery items, right? So first item will become apple, then item will become banana, then item will become strawberry, right? Because I put grocery items over here.
I can understand it.
You didn't understand it, right? Okay, no worries. It's a little bit more confusing than a while loop. Okay, so for variable name, you put the for command, you put the variable name in a sequence, any list or anything. Okay, a sequence. In this case, the sequence or the list is going to be grocery items. Okay, and grocery items, we have three different elements, three different values. Okay, so for item in grocery items, in and for are the keywords here. Item is a variable, this is the sequence. Item, this variable will be assigned to the first item in grocery items. And then item, the second time in the for loop, item will be assigned to the second item of grocery items. So banana.
Banana.
Exactly. Then the third time it loops back, item will be the next value, strawberry.
Strawberry.
Okay, yes, exactly. So every time it loops, I want it to print item. So what this will do is it'll print one by one, apple, banana, strawberry.
Okay.
Okay, so that's a for loop. Yeah, it's a little bit confusing. I know it was confusing at first for everybody, but I'll show you a few more possible things you can do with it. Okay, so like I said, it can do a sequence. So a collection of values like a list. The second one, we could do a string. Okay, say we have, instead of this grocery items, we want to go one by one into a string. A string can be my name, Sampreeth, right? So now what's gonna happen here is for item, here, let me get rid of this. So for I in Sampreeth. So like I said, the for loop will one by one go through each value. So it'll go through S, print S. Next thing, the I will be equal to A. So it'll go for, and then the I will be equal to A, it'll print I, which should be equal to A, right? And then it'll loop again, and it'll be equal to the next value, which is M. It'll print that, one by one, right? That's what a for loop can do. One by one, it can go through a sequence. Okay, and in this case, this could be considered as a string, right? So each character is its own value. So the for loop will one by one go through each value, S, A, M, so on and so forth. Here, let me find it. If you see over here, it actually runs Sampreeth, right? A little bit, right? So first it goes through S, the I is equal to S. So this variable is actually changing every time you loop. That's the key part of a for loop. This variable keeps on changing. So first it'll be equal to S, then it'll be equal to A, then it'll be equal to M. Okay, everyone understand?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Cool, that's great. Okay, now a third thing you can do, so I showed you how to do it through a list, I showed you how to do it through a string. Now if you want to do numbers, right, you could do range 10, right? Or yeah, 10. Okay, so our range will basically is basically a range of values. You can think of it as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way to 9, right? With the range. Now I, like I said, will first be equal to the first value in this range. So I will start with 0. So I is equal to 0. And then it prints it. And then it'll loop back and I is equal to 1 now. And then next thing you know, it's equal to the next value, which is 2, one by one. Okay? So this range is actually a sequence of numbers, all the way from 0 to whatever number you put in here. Okay? Now if you run this, you get 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay? Is that cool? A range is a series of numbers.
Yeah.
Okay, and I is equal to each number one by one. Okay, so I'll show you some other cooler things you can do with range. So if you put two values, the first one, comma, the second one, what range is gonna do, it's gonna start from 1, and it's gonna keep on going one by one, all the way to the second number. So it starts with 1, and it'll keep going until 11. Right, so it starts with 1, I is equal to 1, print I. And then I will be equal to the next number, which is 2, print I. And then I will be equal to the third number, so on. That's what a for loop can do. The I value keeps changing. The I value keeps changing based on the series over here. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? And remember, it discludes the second value. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and discludes 11. Okay?
I have also tried it with 100 and other numbers.
Yeah, of course. You can do that, right? You can do
I
that.
have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Once you type this command, can you put another comma and then put another number? So,
Yeah, you can actually. What is it for?
like, and then put like 20 maybe, and then run.
Do you know what this does?
No, that's
Okay.
fine.
Okay, right. So this is actually important as well. I was just about to get through this. All right, let me show you this first. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, all the way to 50. Okay, because I is equal to each value one by one. Right? And like you said, there's actually a third input you can put in. What this third value will do is how many numbers do you want to go through at a time. So say we put 3. So it'll go 1, 4, 7, 10, so on, right? So it's increasing by 3 numbers at a time, all the way until number 51, right? So this series will actually have 1, 4, 7, 10. And I will go to, first it'll be equal to 1, then it'll be equal to 4, then it'll be equal to 7, so on and so forth, right? So first I is equal to 1, it'll print it, I is equal to 4. Okay, let me run and show you. Right, you see this? Does this make sense for everybody?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. Great. Okay, anyone have any doubts or no?
No.
Okay,
No.
Can you add any more numbers?
no, you can't. There is only 3. So there is a starting number, the ending number, and how many you want to add at a time. Okay? Now, if you want to go backwards, you can do 10 to 0 minus 1, right? So it starts at 10 and it goes to 0. If you don't put this value, what's going to happen is it's not going to print anything. Okay? It's going to leave you blank. Why? Because it starts at 10 and it ends at 0. That's not possible. Right? So what you can do is you can put -1. So what we asked it to do is I want it to start at 10. I want it to go -1, right? So it starts at 10, I is equal to 10, print I. Next thing, I is changed. I is changed to the next number, which is 9, because I'm changing it by -1. Okay, and it goes all the way to 0. And this, there you go, 10 through 1. Okay, so I'll give you guys an exercise right now. I want you to just print values 1 to 20 to start with that, using a for loop.
Sorry, what?
Print values 1 to 20.
Okay.
Okay, can everyone do that?
Yes.
So basically we have to write for I in range 1, 20.
Close. You actually missed out a small detail. But yeah, write the code and then show me,
Okay.
because there are a few more syntax factors you have to include. Can you guys hear me, or is there background noise?
I'm done.
Okay, great. Can you put it in the chat box?
Let me try. Wait.
Okay, good.
Wait. Can you see?
Um, I can't exactly see it. Okay, wait, 1 second. Okay, I can't see it properly, but did it run? Did it run fine?
Yeah.
Okay, it printed all the values. Did it print the 20th value? Or did it
Yeah.
only print till 19?
Printed till 20.
Okay, so you did range 1, 21, right?
Yeah, 21. Because like when you type 22, so it shows 21. When you type 19, it shows 18. So minus
Okay,
1.
yeah, great. You got it. Nice. Good job.
Thanks.
Okay. Anyone else want to show me? Or is it working fine for everybody?
It works out for me as well.
Okay, great. So I'm gonna give you guys another question. For this question, I'm gonna teach you something called a modulus. Does anyone know what the modulus is?
I've heard of it before, but I don't understand what it means.
Okay, right, no problem. So if I do 10 modulus 2, okay, so if you do 10 divided by 2, let me actually not do this here in the shell. Okay, so if you do 10 divided by 2, you get 5, right? And what's the remainder of 10 divided by 2? Anybody? The remainder of 10 divided by 2.
0.
Exactly, it's 0. So what the modulus will do is it'll output the remainder, right? So it'll output the remainder. So can anyone tell me, it'll first divide this and then output the remainder. So can anyone tell me what the modulus of 10 and 3 is?
It's
It's 3.333333.
That's the division. But what is the remainder?
yeah, it's 0.01.
One is the remainder.
Exactly. 1. Good job. Okay, let me give you another one. Let's do 15 modulus 6. Okay,
Okay, 3.
someone want to answer? 3? Exactly.
Yeah.
3. Good job. Okay. So that means, okay, let me, does everyone understand what the modulus is?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
let me give you,
What sign have you used between
so on your 5,
percent?
there's a
Yeah,
percentage
yeah.
sign. Right, okay, cool. My bad.
It was not seen properly.
Right, that's cool. Okay, so I want you, this one will be a little bit more challenging. This, I guess we can take up the rest of the class for this. I want you to, if you don't finish it, I'll give it to you as homework. Okay, so I want you to loop through 20 numbers, and I want you to only print the numbers that are not divisible by 5.
Okay.
Okay, so think about it. Anyone have any clue on how you could do that? And all the
So,
numbers that are not not divisible by 5.
so should we what can we do? Like we can, is it a loop question?
Yeah, it uses the for loop.
So what
Anyone
should
have any
we,
idea? Anyone want to try
so
it?
should we do like one?
Can we use a range or something in
Yeah. Can we
A
use-
range. Yes. Okay, that's a start. A range. How do you get that main? How do you get the values that are not 5, not
So, like,
divisible by 5?
in range, you can just put like the divisible number
Okay.
and then run it. So run the correct answer.
Actually, there's no like inbuilt function for range. So you're gonna have to write a little bit more code. But you had the right idea. You do use the modulus, the percent.
Yeah, that's what I want. I guess we have to do the same thing.
And you want to think about it. It's a little bit like more challenging. Requires like a little bit more logic, but it's like creative. Anyone have it? Anyone?
Or instead of those, you can just do range, and in the brackets you can write 1, 20 and like, and then mark loop 5.
No, that won't work.
Okay.
That won't work. Uh-huh.
I have a question. Like, can you delete a few numbers? Like,
Delete a few numbers. What do you mean? Like in a range?
yeah.
I guess that's kind of what we're doing, but you can't specifically delete numbers, no.
Okay.
But you can do, okay, actually, this could give you a clue for how you're going to answer that. Say range 1, 21. Okay. You want to delete numbers, you said, right? So you can do if I is equal to 4, right?
Yes.
Or you could do if, say I is not equal to, this is the not equal to, by the way. The exclamation point and equal sign. I gave this to you on one of like the early classes, like class 2. Is not equal to 4, then print I. Okay, so what this is gonna do, again, I will first be equal to 1. It'll go through this. If 1 is not equal to 4, it'll print it, right? And then it'll go to 2. If 2 is not equal to 4, it'll print 2. And then when it comes to 4, when I is equal to 4, 4 is not equal to 4, right? But it actually is. So it will not print 4, right? This is what you're asking, right? Kind of like this. So if you look over here, the 4 is gone. So you have to use this kind of idea for solving the question I just gave you.
So like, can't you just do 5, 10, 15, 20?
You can do that, but say I'll give you a bigger number, like 40.
Yeah, then just continue that process.
You want to make it as like simple as possible. I mean, that's a good thought, but you want to make it simpler.
Or is
So
that
let's think about
or
it.
is there something called like continue the process loop? Like, can you just like, if it's a multiple of 5, like loop back?
If it's a multiple, I don't think that's gonna work.
Like I'm saying, like if it's so like if 1, 2, 3, 4, right?
Uh-huh.
If it's 5, then I'll skip it. Then I'll go to 6, 7, 8, 9. But then and then is there a thing that can make it skip 5 and then cancel out 5? Then you keep on going until it reaches a multiple of 5. Then cancel.
Yes, that's what you want to do.
Like,
How
is
do
there,
you,
what's the command for that?
So that's, you have to figure out how to use the modulus. Okay, let me give you a clue. What is the modulus of 5? 5 percentage sign 5. What is the modulus of 5 and 5? Anyone want to give an answer?
0.
0. Now what's the modulus of 10 percentage sign 5?
I'm sorry, what? 0.
Yeah, 0. Now what's the modulus of 15 percentage sign 5?
What?
0.
0, exactly. So only the multiples of 5 will give you the modulus as equal to 0.
Okay.
Okay, can you guys use that as a clue? Try and solve it using this logic over here. Did you understand what I was saying, Ditya?
Okay, it's working.
Oh, you're muted.
I'm trying it.
You're trying it. Okay, cool, cool.
I
Right,
think
so,
I know.
okay, go for it. Go for it. I'll give you guys another like 5 minutes and then we're gonna have to end the class. But if one of you guys can do it by then.
But I'm actually not getting how to do this.
Okay, that's fine, that's fine. It's a little bit more challenging. If you don't get it, take it as homework. Try to do it at home. Think about it a little bit more.
But
Can you
Or else I'll
just
show you next time.
repeat what we have to do?
Okay,
It's working for me.
so it's working.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, share your screen in a second. Okay, so this is the exercise. Print numbers 1 to 20 that are divisible, that are not divisible by 5. Oops, I forgot the,
Okay.
that are not divisible by 5.
Okay, I'll try it.
So I want you to print 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay?
I have a question.
Yeah, what's up?
Like, using a module, can you module everything except for 5?
Except for 5. What do you mean?
Like you're saying, like if I module 5 with something else, it cannot come to 5 unless it's 25, and it's only until 20.
So
So
the modulus of 5 doesn't matter on the last number. It matters on whether it's divisible by 5. Right? So if the modulus of 10 is equal to 0, modulus of 10 and 5 would be equal to 0.
Okay.
So yeah, it doesn't have to be 25, 35, 45, even
No.
40 and 30.
No,
Huh?
that's not what I'm saying. Like I'm
Oh, that's
saying,
not what you're saying? Okay.
like it can, like if you do 6 divided by 5, that'll make it 1. 7 divided by 5, that would be 2.
Yep.
Divide by 5 and continue. But then
Mhm.
once it reaches 5, it'll come back to 0.
0. Okay.
So like, can you keep on doing that? Is that what you're trying to say, or is it like
Yeah, exactly. Now do that. Go through all of the numbers.
okay?
Right? And only print the ones that are not, that do not give you the modulus is equal to 0.
Got
Hey
it.
Vaishnav, can I?
Yeah.
I can't exactly see your eye in range.
Yeah, I can see it.
Vaishnav, what did that give you when you outputted it?
This.
I can't exactly see it clearly. Did it skip the numbers 5 and 10 and 15 and 20?
No, it skipped
No.
4.
It skipped 4. Oh, okay. You were just doing the code I gave you.
Yeah.
Do the assignment that I gave you. This
Okay.
question right here,
What's the question?
over here. Print numbers 1 to 20 that are not divisible by 5.
Okay.
Okay?
Can you just do 5, 10, 15?
That are not divisible by 5, meaning you have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 6,
Yeah.
7, 8, 9.
Like,
Uh-huh.
you know, for that exclamation mark
Yeah.
equals to, can't you just do 5, 10, 15?
You can, but that'll be like another 10 lines of code. That's really unnecessary. This question can be solved in about 2 or 3 lines of code.
Okay.
Okay. Everyone understood the question, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So again, Sasha kind of got the concept, so you can spend a little time trying to figure out how to implement it. But again, the way to do it is you use the modulus, right? And you have to check for I is not equal to. So you kind of use this concept over here, and you use the modulus sign to solve
Okay.
it. Okay. Okay, that's all the time we have for today. Yeah, okay. Okay, so everyone take this as homework, try to solve it. If you want, you can email it to me or you can show me at the beginning of next class.
Okay.
Well, I don't think that I'm, like, if I don't do it, then what? Like, if I can't.
I mean, nothing's gonna happen. Just do it out of interest if you feel like it. It's cool.
Because I most probably won't be able to get it because it seems really hard.
Okay, no worries. Just think about it. Once you crack the code, you can actually solve it. Spend like another 20 minutes trying to do it. If it's like too tough, if you're not getting anywhere, then just wait. I'll give you the answer next class.
Okay.
Okay, great. Can everyone put their names in the chat box before leaving?
Yeah.
Okay, great. You guys can leave now. Thanks so much.
Yeah. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. See you.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.